The Gateway. Need some advice for my situation with my wife. I am very sorry this is so long. I should have posted here much sooner. I fear I have screwed this up too much now and I need to give as much detail as possible for good advice. We got married young. She was 22 and I was 27. I am the only guy she has been with physically as she is very strict on the no bonding before marriage thing. We were engaged for 5 years before we got married. We have been married for 7 years this upcoming August 22nd. Our marriage has been a blast. We are each other's best friend. We barely fight and always enjoy each other's company most of the time. We have a lot of the same hobbies. There has never been any abuse emotionally, no cheating, no nothing. About a month ago now my wife was acting very distant one night. I asked her what was wrong and she was very nervous, I could tell. She was shaking and almost crying. She said there have been issues in our marriage and she has become completely disconnected from me emotionally. She said she is always worried about my health. I have gained some weight over the years. She said she has never been attracted to me physically. She said she has never had butterflies in her stomach for me. She said she has never enjoyed sleeping with me and have never had an orgasm. And she apologized for saying all this after so many years and that she has been a good actress, which is why I didn't know. She said some of this was her fault, definitely, for not communicating and for not doing her part in the marriage. I was shattered. It was a feeling I cannot describe. I have been depressed before, but this was something else. I had no idea hurt could be this terrible. I was a wet noodle of a man. I wept in front of her that night a little. She held me and then we watched a movie together and I told her I would start working on these issues. For the next 3 days I went around in shock, blaming myself. On the third day I wrote a letter with all my thoughts saying that I loved her and that I meant every word I said when I married her. I accepted responsibility for the issues she brought up and promised to work on them and that I am not giving up on her or our marriage. That night she read the letter and came over to me crying and wanted to go for a walk. During the walk she dropped the bomb. I shouldn't be having crushes on other men when I am a married woman, and I am. Well, with one guy in particular. I just kind of listened to her talk during this. She said she had been chatting with this guy over instant messenger and they would bump into each other at the vending machines. There was some flirting and she even borrowed him some of our movies from our home. That hurts. Things ended up going too far and they told each other they think the other is cute and that they are falling for each other, and they agreed they needed to cut contact because my wife wanted to work on her marriage. She told me she has feelings for this guy that she has never felt before for anyone and that she thinks about him all the time every day and cannot get him out of her head. I was shattered before, now I was borderline destroyed. I cried harder that night than I ever have my entire life combined. I kept saying I am sorry. She was actually worried because she had never seen me that destroyed before, like she didn't realize how much this would hurt me at all. I asked if she wanted to try marriage counseling, which she said yes to. That night we held each other in bed, mostly her holding me as I cried my damn eyes out for hours. A day later, while in bed, I told her out of the blue I thought she was being very selfish in her actions. She got very angry and said she can't help how she feels, but I told her we do indeed control how much energy we put into entertaining those feelings. She left the bedroom after a few minutes and slept on the couch. That night she texted me and said, "I think we should plan for a separation. I don't want us to fight." One day later we had our first MC session. It went okay but not well. She said, "What really scares me is I can see myself having kids with this other guy but not with my husband." I was like, "Do you know how crazy that sounds? You are talking about a guy you have known for 2-3 weeks." She said, I know it's crazy." The therapist asked, "We need 2 people that want to work together on this for it to actually work." She also mentioned that we have all the building blocks for a long-lasting, strong marriage statistically. Whatever that means: friendship, common hobbies, a lot of respect for one another. Or so I thought. The therapist asked my wife what attracted her to me. My wife started listing off how funny I was and how great my personality was, and then she started bawling uncontrollably. The therapist asked her what she was feeling at that moment, and my wife looked up and said guilt. A lot of guilt and sadness. At the end of the session, she asked if we both wanted to work on this. I said yes, 100%. My wife said she wasn't sure. We scheduled another session for the next week. That night I moved out. Yeah, you heard that right, I moved out. Her friend from out of town was staying with us as she just got a new job here, so I figured it would be less awkward if I left instead of making my wife leave, and her friend is still staying there with me. My wife was really sorry about this and cried and offered to leave and go stay with her dad or something like that, even though he has no room. I took the damn nice guy approach and left. She said she wanted to date other people, of course the other guy, while separated. I was opposed. She said she thought that maybe if she hung out with other guys it would make her realize how much she loves me. I told her I will not be married to a woman that has a boyfriend. If that's the route you want to go, divorce me first. 2 days later she called me at work to tell me she wanted a divorce as she feels nothing for me anymore. I got mad and said fine, she is making a mistake, I will move on, take care of yourself. She texted me back 3 times after that conversation. Maybe I need more time, I don't know. Is there any coming back from this? Then 2 hours later, should we try one more time and work on our issues better? Then 2 hours later, well I guess that's it then, sorry I ruined your life. Goodbye. I let her know back that I didn't want any of this. She agreed to go see a therapist on her own and wanted to put everything on pause for now and not make any irrational decisions. Over the next couple weeks things were rough. She invited me out to dinner and movie where she was completely disconnected the entire time. No reciprocation of affection at all except a hug or two at the end of the night. No kisses, just buddies yay. The next Friday she invited me out again and I told her no but that I hope she has a good night. 2 nights later she told me that Friday I didn't come over. She texted the other guy again all night out of a moment of weakness. This is after I asked her to never contact him again if she wants to work on our marriage. He needs to be out of the picture. I was angry. I told her she is taking a crap on our wedding vows and that my plan was to move back in 3 weeks to my apartment and if she needs space then she can leave. She agreed and was crying then scared. Fast forward a couple weeks, I am still at my friend's. My wife and I had a couple weeks of no contact. She came over the other night and we had a great time. We laughed like the old days. She was still disconnected but was still a good time. She really wants me to move back and after her friend moves out soon because I want to see if it helps me make a decision one way or another. Maybe having you there will remind me of why I love and married you. I told her so I am auditioning for the husband role she got made but then I said it back to her what she wants me to do and she understood a bit. I was planning on doing that until yesterday. I drove over there and spoke with her for 5 minutes. I asked her, when you say that you don't know if you want to work on our marriage, are you just saying you don't know because you are scared to hurt my feelings and what you really mean is no? She said, 1 minute I feel like I don't want to be in this marriage anymore and I have checked out. Then the next minute I think no, he is my husband and I love him very much and we have been together for so long. I told her she knows where I stand. I love her and mean every word of our wedding vows but that I am backing off now because there is nothing more I can do. I told her I am going to give her 2 weeks, maybe 3, and then I am going to ask her again, do you want our marriage to work? And I will want a yes or no answer. I told her if it is still and I don't know then we will make plans. If she says yes, then I will move back in and we will work on everything. She agreed and almost started crying. I kissed her on the cheek and got up and walked out. Found out later that day she called her friend. Her friend is my friend as well, and was crying for about 5 minutes while on the phone with her. She was really counting on me moving back in to see if that did anything for her. She is truly split between me and our marriage with its issues and this other guy and the possibility of a new life with more stability financially, kids, etc. I am crushed. I feel like my wife died. She became a different person overnight to me. My plan is to cut contact at this point but I am in so much damn pain every day missing her it is near unbearable any longer. I am positive there has been no physical affair. She has been incredibly brutally honest and she has promised and made it very clear to me that nothing else has happened at all. She is just very infatuated with him it seems and she feels very guilty. I feel like I can feel my wife in there somewhere but she is just not coming around after a month. Do you think giving 2 weeks to ask that question is a stupid idea? Should I just cut contact completely for a long time? Not sure I can take that. We have to sign a new lease and crap coming up but I guess I can keep staying at my friend's place. I know she loves me but half of her is very confused right now. I am out of cards to play on this and having issues dealing with the loss. Crying like a little boy every day about this. I'm angry, sad, depressed, hurt, hopeful all over the place. Never knew pain and depression could do this. Never have I felt physical pain every day from depression. I miss her so badly every day. I feel like my happiness depends on her loving me and that sounds pathetic and codependent. I am trying now, but not sure if 2 weeks is being unreasonable to ask for an answer or maybe you are right. I should just ignore her texts and calls until she is begging and crying to have me back, if that ever happens. How long should I wait? That's the hard question. She is not lying about this being a physical affair. She has been so brutal so far, I really doubt she would hold that back. She has been very adamant about this as I have asked her a few times to just tell me the truth if anything further happened. She said it was just chatting at work over instant messenger and teasing each other back and forth at work. Comments. Give her a date and time as to when you will be at the door with your stuff to be in your house. The friend staying there should understand that your marriage is more important and should find other arrangements. If this is an year only, your wife is not in love with him. She is living a fantasy and is infatuated only. Recognize her I never loved you is bull. She is rewriting history to justify her actions. She's in the fog and operating in an emotional state that you cannot understand at this point and neither can she. All contact with OM must end. She needs to understand this is non-negotiable. You won't get anywhere with him in the picture. Work on your issues, not for her but for yourself. Start with your weight. My guess is you've already lost some but not in the right manner. Work out away from home and get on a decent diet. If you have other legitimate issues damaging to the marriage, work on those also. Don't tell her or discuss these with her, just do it. Your words mean little to her. Action speaks. OP responds. The part I am needing help sorting out is, do I move in knowing she is still not sure about working on the marriage? She wants me to see if it sparks anything for her to make a decision one way or another to speed things up. Or do I do what I said and ask her in 2 weeks, do you want to work on our marriage? And if she says I don't know, then it's a pretty good sign it's over. Or maybe she needs more time. Also, the thing I hate about moving back in is that she is not ready to reciprocate my emotion. But maybe that is what you are saying, Amp. Move back in but stay cool and emotionless with her. Is that so? My trouble is really trying to understand how to act around her once I move back in. I need to take control. I need to move back into my apartment now. She is going to be confused if I call her today and tell her I am moving back in 2 weeks after I told her yesterday a different plan. But oh well, I guess I need to start worrying about myself. I really feel like a pile of pathetic crap right now. I guess I will call her tonight and tell her I am moving back in 2 weeks and I want her friend to make other arrangements to leave by then. She is going to be very confused lol considering I told her yesterday that I was not going to move in until she wants to work on the marriage, but oh well. I would like her friend that is staying there to get out first. I don't like her and she is pretty anti-me and anti our marriage. She tries to talk my wife into this other guy I have heard through my wife's friend that is also my friend. That's why I was thinking of giving her a 2-week notice. Are you saying I should move in without even calling my wife to let her know and then tell her friend she needs to leave immediately or get a hotel or something like that? I can do that. It just seems to me like kicking her friend out on the street might make my wife distance herself from me even more. Then again, maybe I am being a wuss. Besides, I may tell her friend to find somewhere to go and my wife may get mad and say she can stay for another couple weeks. So yeah, might create some anger there. It's just funny, the other night when she stopped by to talk, she said it would be good if I moved back in and we had some time together to do stuff now that she works a normal shift. But what I am getting from you all is that I move in and do not hang out with her or only if she initiates it. Correct. I am going to do it tonight, which will confuse her. I will talk to her friend and tell her she needs to make plans to stay at a hotel or motel or something very soon, if not tonight, because our marriage is important to me and we need to have our home to ourselves. I'm hoping she will understand. I will then just live there. I will pay no attention to my wife. I will just leave without telling her where I am going, etc., and not talk to her unless she initiates conversation. Not initiate any plans of any kind unless she initiates it. Not initiate physical contact. Basically ignore that she is there and act happy until she comes around, if ever. It's just hard for me to say, can you pack your stuff and leave our apartment tonight, when it's going to be around 8 p.m. and she will have nowhere to go besides maybe a hotel or motel. Plus, this may anger the crap out of my wife. My wife has been telling me I can move back in whenever I want, but I don't think she is counting on me kicking her friend out immediately. My wife may resent me for doing that. Maybe I need her to get a little mad at me for once. My friend is talking with her tonight and the friends I am living with, one of them is my wife's friend as well, would like me to wait until they talk to her to see if she is coming around at all. If not, then I am moving back in the next day. The friends I am staying with are pro-marriage in this case. The friend staying with my wife is toxic. She wants my wife to be with the other guy. My wife has even told me this, and my wife's friend has told me when all three of them have been out together that my wife defends me against this chick, telling her she doesn't know me. This friend of hers I agreed to let stay with us doesn't know me at all whatsoever, just my wife knows her. My friend is going to talk to my wife tonight, as she texted him and asked to talk to him about this situation. They talked once last week as well. Then my friend will come home and let me know if I should go ahead with the moving back into my home plan or if my wife is completely a lost cause, which at that point, I may just call it quits, get off the lease, the phones, and sign up for a 1-bedroom. A couple days ago I was thinking of giving her more space. Her friend is moving out soon, couple weeks to 3 weeks, and I thought it would be good for her to live completely alone in our place for a bit. Maybe she will start to miss me when she is completely alone in the apartment for a bit, maybe not. Thought I would run it by you all. I think I have just messed this up too much already. I have cried in front of her too many times now. She told me I can come home whenever, and I told her I don't want to come home just to audition for husband role. She didn't like that, but she understood that's basically what she is asking. I told her I will come home when she wants to work on the marriage. Even if I move in and play the cold and cool card, I am basically doing the same thing. I am trying to manipulate the situation by acting differently, 180, towards her in hopes that she will come around. Is that much different from staying separated and giving her space in hopes she comes around? I'm so confused on what to do. I keep looking inside myself on what I, myself, right now want to do. But I know that you should not make decisions sometimes when your emotions are high, which mine are right now. I do want to move back in, however. I need to start taking charge. It's just going to be very hard to act like I don't care about her when I do move in. She has not been in the guy's house. She just gave him a couple movies at work. She swears nothing physically has happened at all with this guy. But I definitely wonder. Guess it's pointless wondering though, since I can never find out. She told me the other night she has had no contact whatsoever with him for 2.5 weeks now since the last time they texted each other. Update: the girl that is living in our place is moving out very soon, week or two. She signed paperwork the other day for her own place. So, I am not going to move in until she is out. I don't want to be around her, so I will wait a little longer. My wife keeps speaking in absolutes to her friend, things like I have never had butterflies for him. It's hard to hear. When the day before she was saying stuff like I miss him and love him. Could she be coming out of the fog slowly? Wish it didn't take so long. I feel such great pain every day. I woke up crying today. Never had that happen in my life. Was probably dreaming about the situation or something, but I could not stop crying until after I showered and got dressed. Then I was able to pull myself together a bit. I keep praying to God to bring my wife back and make her snap out of this. If anyone that has been through their husband or wife walking out on them in this way could give me some tips on how to help with the intense pain of missing them every day, I would really appreciate it. She said she is not sure she wants to work on the marriage yet. She wants me to move in once this other girl is gone so we have the place to ourselves and can spend more time with just each other. That kind of sounds like she wants to work on things, but she just can't say it. She also mentioned to my friend that she might swap with me right away. I would move back in and she would go stay on the futon with our friends just to see what I went through and get a different perspective, but she wasn't sure. I just really need help with the depression of missing her every day. I have not talked to her now for 4 days. No texts, phone calls, nothing. Every day that goes by makes me more depressed. In my mind it's like there is another day that my wife didn't wake the hell up. Why am I allowing her this control? I guess the most obvious is because I am in love with her. She is my best friend. It is so damn hard to be with someone for 12 years and then poof. She has not spoken with the other guy for 3.5 weeks now, when she cut it off with him finally. She works a different shift now at work so she doesn't see him. Learn this through her friend I am living with. You are right, I need to move forward, but holy crap, I just keep missing her every day. I try to get out and go do things with friends, but it is very hard to take my mind off this. I guess there is no shortcut through this situation. My plan is to leave her alone completely 100% until I move back in. Then I will act and not speak. I will keep working out, trying to better myself, etc. I will be nice but not needy, and hopefully she will see all these changes in me and will come around. If not, then I guess I made myself a better person for the wonderful woman that comes along that won't do this to me. My wife is so 50-50 right now. I just wish there was some secret to get rid of the missing her feelings. I know that sounds ridiculous, but it would help. Yeah, I heard it from her best friend. She has not talked or seen the guy in 3.5 weeks at all. My wife is taking this very seriously now. On Sunday I stopped by our apartment to pick up something and was able to talk to her for a minute. I told her I'm going to give you 2 weeks and then I am going to ask you if you want to work on this marriage, and I want a yes or no answer. And then I said if you have to stay home on the weekends instead of going out with your girlfriends drinking and wallow in your self-hatred and loathing, then maybe that's what you need to do, but I need to man up and put a time frame on this for my own well-being at this point. Later that day she texted me telling me I was completely right, that she has been trying to drown her sorrows and going out with her girlfriend was just a way to distract herself from thinking about this situation. She apologized for beating around the bush and being so disrespectful about the whole situation. I told her I was glad she realized this stuff. We have not spoken since. My plan is to check in with her in another week, that will be 2, and see where she is at. If I don't go crazy by then. I have since realized ultimatums don't work and are not useful at all. My plan now is to work on myself, not talk to my wife about our relationship at all unless she initiates it, move back into my home and continue to work on myself. She can stay if she wants, if not, whatever. The problem I have is figuring out my internal time clock on when I just say, well, it's done, and just leave without notice to her. I can't afford the place we have on my own, so I would basically be forced to move out, but whatever. I don't know why I am so scared to move back in immediately. Non-confrontational, I guess. So is my wife. The girl that is staying there signed papers for her new place and she will be out soon after background check crap and whatever. It's just going to be a mess if I charge in there and tell her to start packing all her stuff. She won't be there anyways. She works overnights right now. My wife will get pissed off at me for kicking her friend out with no place to go, I'm sure, even though my wife wants her to leave as well. Also, like I said, I cannot afford this place on my own, so I will have to move out eventually anyways if my wife decides not to stay. Wouldn't this all be easier if I just told her I am getting off the lease and moving into my own place and moving on with my life? Take care. Oh, and by the way, here are the divorce papers. Instead of moving in, having her leave, then I have to leave anyways. My wife wants this friend of hers to leave very badly as well, from what she has told her friend I am living with. There are just some little complications here and there that will suck if I kick her friend out right now. Update: my wife came by suddenly last night. She heard about my dad from her friend. I was not expecting her to come, so it was a surprise. She motioned for me to go with her into my room. We went in there and she started crying and hugged me, saying she was so sorry to hear about my dad. She kept hugging me and I just sat there, didn't even know what to feel at this point. Is she hugging me as my wife or as a friend? Type of thoughts rushed through my head. She told me she has been having huge ups and downs lately. She said the other night she was convinced it was over and just trying to figure out how to break it to me. Then the very next morning, yesterday, even before she knew about my dad, she could not get me out of her head. She said it was the first day since we separated that she really missed me and that she really wanted to see me right then and there and hug me. So, she is going up and down a lot. I told her I am moving back in soon and at this point there is nothing I can do for her. If she wants to stay and work on things, great. I am just going to work on myself now. We then took a short drive to the place we first met. We sat there and stared at the place we first said hello to each other. My wife said it seems like such a long time ago. I told her it was a long time ago. Then I noticed she wasn't wearing her wedding band but was wearing the ring, which confuses me. She said she doesn't feel right wearing it because she doesn't feel like she deserves it and it feels weird. She asked me why I am still wearing mine. I asked her why I would ever take it off. Then she said, because everything I have done to you. I told her I love her and that I am willing to work on things and put everything behind us. She shook her head yes. So, the night went okay. I was pretty stressed out the entire time thinking about my dad. He is now stable today but in a coma. My wife told me even though we are going through hard times right now, I still care about you deeply and if you ever need me during this hard time, I will be here immediately. I told her I didn't need a friend, I needed my wife. Then she asked me if she shouldn't come over any more like this. I told her I really appreciate it but I need my wife to reciprocate emotions. I told her if she is ever actually missing me as a husband then by all means feel free to come by or call. I tried to act as do whatever you want. I'm going to work on myself as I could give how difficult of a day it was for me. I was very vulnerable with her there. It was even worse at the hospital. I basically crashed 100%. Everything came flowing in and she wasn't there for me anymore. It made the entire situation terrible. They took my dad away to fly him to the Mayo Clinic and I sat in a room and fell apart completely for 2 hours. Is it a good sign that yesterday was the first day she couldn't get me out of her head and missed me very badly? Could she be coming out of the fog? My plan at this point is to still cut contact with her unless she initiates it. Maybe not being available will make her miss me more and maybe not being around her will help me get over her, even though I miss her a lot right now given what has happened. Quick update. My dad took a turn for the worse. They had to resuscitate him once this morning and he is in a full-blown coma now. My wife once again found out through the friends I am staying with and called me. I was pretty sad about my dad so I didn't say much. I feel like giving up on my wife right about now. She asked me, do you want me to leave you alone right now? I said, what do you mean? And she said, do you want me to leave you alone for the time being? I was just silent and fed up. I was just spent emotionally and said, do whatever you want. I got to go. Bye. She sounded really sad and said okay, then I hung up. 180 time for me. My dad is about to pass most likely and this is a wake-up call. We all die someday. I'm done wasting my time with this woman as of right now. She is going to have to earn me back. I am going to drive down to the clinic to hopefully see some family and my dad over the next day or two. I can't believe I have let myself feel so terrible through all this because of crap she did. I am done. Well, she offered to be there for me whenever I want the other day but I don't want her there right now. The friend moved in about 2 weeks before this all went down. She got a job up here but had no place to live. She was already friends with my wife, online games, talking, vent etc. So we both agreed she could move in for a bit to help her get on her feet with the new job. Wife told me the other day the friend is leaving next week for her new place. I got back my friend's place I am staying with and my wife was constantly texting her friend that I stay with for status updates on me. My wife was worried about the fact that I didn't want to talk to her about it earlier when she called me. Her friend said she is done telling my wife anything about how I am doing so she just kept texting back stuff like I don't know how he is doing. I had a talk with the friends I am living with and told them no more passing information between us. I don't want to know anything and I don't want her to know anything. Also got a job offer yesterday evening lol. Awesome timing. The job is in another state as well. Too much stuff happening at once. Update. Wife just texted me tonight. I know you don't want to hear from me but I am praying for you and your dad and I hope you are okay. And then another text 1 minute later and I will let you know ASAP when Jenna, her friend, moves out so you can move back into your home. I have not responded and am not. Very hard for me but I'm not going to. Day 4 of the 180. I wake up every day from a nightmare. Sometimes I remember them, sometimes I don't. Every time I remember them it is my wife doing something to emotionally destroy me. It's so painful that I wake up from it. So, every morning I am depressed from this and missing her. I have to pep talk myself and remind myself what has gone down to get a grip again. I hope this goes away soon. My mind is my own worst enemy right now. I keep thinking about our anniversary which is coming up near the end of August and how I will handle that if we are divorced. 4th of July is coming up. We used to always cuddle and watch the fireworks. Probably not now. Christmas etc. There are all these events during the year that will just be a constant damn reminder of her. Has anyone any advice on how they dealt with those times? I am going to hit the gym today but other than that I have no idea what to do to keep myself busy today. I did start drawing again so maybe I will do that. Still thinking about her and what she did this weekend. I keep feeling despair. I am very down on myself no doubt. I am 34 years old, 80 pounds overweight. Women do not even look me in the eye right now. I am working on that but it is a long process to lose that much weight. Not much else I can do, I guess. I have anxiety to even try to approach a random woman and say anything to her. Don't know what to say and I bet a lot of women get freaked out when a fat guy comes up to them and tries to talk to them. I honestly just don't think I am ready for women right now. No confidence in my physical form. I know I am a kind and compassionate person, but a lot of women just can't get past the initial physical assessment, it seems, so I have to work on that, no doubt. Also, it is good for me. It will take a while to lose that much weight, but oh well, I have time, I guess. I need to be comfortable in own skin. Right now, I just keep wanting her to text or call me in an explosion of tears saying how sorry she is that she screwed up and begging for forgiveness. However, the realistic side of me knows this is probably not going to happen, and if it does, it is not going to happen on day 4. There is no way I can text or call her at this point as well. I still have hope for our marriage. Hope is a good thing, but sometimes I wish I could shut it off because it is currently driving me insane. Anyways, I have to figure out soon how to break it to her that I am not moving back in at the end of this month. She will probably ask if I am still going to pay rent then, since she thinks I will be moving back in for July. I plan on telling her I am not paying rent since I am not moving back in after all, if we have not reconciled by this point, which I am thinking we will not be this soon. At this point she could get mad and demand I pay rent since I am on the lease, but I doubt it. Not sure what's going to happen there. She has been pretty nice as far as that stuff goes through this. She has mentioned that she would not make me pay rent etc. last month since I was the ones that moved out when she should have, so not sure she would even get mad. Right now, I am just trying to disconnect, but holy crap is it hard to. So far, so good on day 4, but it feels like it is getting harder and harder each day when she doesn't come around and I don't get that text or call. I just have to stay strong and keep busy, and hopefully my mind will detach over more time. Wife just texted me again. I am worried about you, and if it is okay with you, maybe we can see each other this week. My plan is to ignore completely. Makes me feel like crap, but not sure what else to do. I don't want to see her until she wants to be in the marriage again. No point in talking about anything relationship-wise until then. I am sure she is genuinely concerned for me with my dad's situation, but she has got to have some consequences for what has gone down. Everyone agree that I should not respond at all. If so, I'm sure the mean hurtful, well, I guess it is over then since you won't talk to me. Texts will be on their way soon. God, I hate ignoring someone I love. It hurts me to ignore her. I feel like a jerk when I really shouldn't. My comment, I'd respond to the effect of I need some time and space, and as far as I can tell, we don't have anything to discuss at this point. See what she comes back with. Keep your distance and keep her off balance. Part 2 final ending coming today. You think there is true remorse or not? Comment down and see you in the afternoon.